I believe that throughout these 2 days, we have all learned that the capacity of computers and AI to bring about revolutions in education is quite unmatched. And if we properly unleash the powers of computers and AI, we could revolutionize education in the 21st century. To speak more about the specifics of unleashing this power, we would like to invite to the stage Mr. Kulbhushan Kain.
Mr. Ken has been in the education sector for nearly 4 decades. He was principal of DPS Jagdishpur, founder principal at DPS Jaipur, director at DPS Ahmedabad, and is now holding the post as a director of DPS Jaipur. He is incredibly skilled in putting modern educational systems in place. Sir, please.
Sandeep, thank you very much. Ravi, if you are here. There are certain advantages of speaking in the beginning of the conclave, and there are certain disadvantages of speaking towards the end of the conclave. Especially, I think so, I've realized that speaking at the end of the conclave, especially a conclave of this type, is very disadvantageous. Firstly, because of the speakers are terrific, and secondly, the topics have been so squeezed that I can't get a drop of water from it to say something else. So I'm falling back to the good old adage that don't do different things, do things differently. I'm looking at the larger picture. I'm looking at the macro level picture. A lot of us have talked of artificial intelligence. A lot of us have concentrated on students in classrooms. Maybe some have talked. I think there was one lady who was very distinguished who talked of artificial intelligence reaching out to the underprivileged sections of the society. You know, if a doctor and a teacher were to be reborn from the 19th century into the 20th century, or from the 20th century into the 21st century, the doctor would find himself completely ill at ease. Absolutely, I mean, he would find things are so different. He'll find computers, he'll find patients with a lot of these leads, and there are people who are having lasers, and then there are people, you can't see the patient. So he'll go around these days to do the work very clinically. So this doctor from the 20th century would find himself out of touch. But if you put the teacher into the classroom, most teachers, he would find himself very comfortable. You walk into the class and there'll be children sitting, good morning, sir, good morning, children, how are you? Fine. Attendance, attendance. Then you go and pick up a chalk, right, with his back to the child. And the thing continues. My topic for today was how hopelessly outdated we are with our educational system. And I think so we need to disrupt the educational system. I'm not using the word revolution. We need to disrupt it. And don't think I'm an urban excel, because I'm a man who actually fed and prospered in the system in which I am now. I'm going to dump some facts on you. These are facts which I've got from the government website, and I think so it's reasonable to expect that they should be right, plus minus here. Now look at it, what we have. As per the Child Act Charter, universal definition of a child includes all persons from the age of 16, let us say, to 18, right? 33% of our population in India, the 450 million, 45 crores, belong to this category. It's a huge category, right? I'm dumping facts. And only 53% of the habitated areas have schools. I'll come to the schools. I have to keep an eye on the watch there. And only 20% of our habitation centers have secondary schools. And what are these schools? I mean, I'm not talking of the great schools in which I've worked and which I sometimes advise and I mean, these are wonderful conclaves to meet great friends who are here. Pramod and Kulkarni Saab, Madhav. I'm talking of schools in which they're called schools, and 1 out of 40 of these schools are in the open or in tents. Now, Lord Macaulay, who wrote a minute on education in the 1830s, had said that we'll teach children arithmetic, English, to a group of few, and education will filter down. You know, it's called the downward filtration theory. And many of our schools still believe that this downward filtration theory will work. It is not like that. You see, there's in India, very fashionably we call Bharat. India, Bharat, ek hi cheez hai. But there's a large section of India which is crying for education, which is crying to have more than. There are only 5 teachers in most primary schools from classes 1 to 5. Total of 3 teachers, statistics, government statistics, social, education and social. And I'm not dumping facts on you. But I'm thinking that this is the problem that we have in India. Now you might say that this guy is very, very critical. So he's criticizing. No, I'm not criticizing. I'm a very concerned Indian. And I'm a very true Indian, like all of us are. I mean, don't mistake me for my tie and my coat and the red kerchief. No, I'm very, very. And you can say कि 100 चूहे खा के बिल्ली हज में चले गई, इससे सारी life निकाल दी, और now he's saying, no, it's not that. It's not that I've not worked in schools in that sector. We have worked in schools. I mean, we were involved in a school in Dehradun, in which we were catering to only children coming with only 5,000 rupees a month. They come, people who are actually laborers. And we opened up this, not me, they opened up this fabulous school and gave opportunity to these girls. These were girls, 300. It's still there. I used to go and teach them. When I used to not teach them, now I'm giving you the link up. I was the principal and director of DPS Ahmedabad those days. So I would fix up, because my wife was the principal of the school. So I would fix up. I said, listen, I want to talk to these girls today. I want to teach them 1857 revolt. I'm a history man. So she used to link me up with the classroom. And I used to speak. And I used to tell them stories. And it's not because of me that 4 of them got into Brown University, which is an Ivy League university in America. No. It's just that they got the opportunity to hear a reasonably educated man. So I'm saying, all of us in schools, we say, we should do this. So, assembly. Children, we should do this. Yes, sir. We can do it. Yes, sir. So repeat with me, children. We should do it. We can do it. And when I used to sit and stand in the assembly, the question that used to come, but who will do it? Who will do it? You know, that's a question we have been winking at in the dark. It's not going to have effect. People like you here, people like me, we will do it. We should do it. I was traveling once to Ajmer, where I was principal at TPS Jaipur here. And at a place at Dudu, on the way, I saw a truck standing. So I stopped for tea, and I looked at the truck, and behind it, on the rear of the truck, there were 2 captions. One was very racial, which is Kali, buri nazar dekh se dekhne wale tera muh kala. Very racial. The second one said, Mera Bharat Mahan, 8% ईमानदार, 99% बेईमान. So I asked the truck driver, I said, yeah, this is very uncomplimentary. आप क्यों कहता सर आप कौन हैं, आप कहां से आते हो, आप कार में हैं? सर मैं सही कह रहा हूं, आप निकलिए बाहर देखिए. Now this is the gigantic problem that we are facing. So at a macro level, I'm just saying that we have no choice. We have no choice. We are traveling in an aeroplane and we can't travel in a car. Or even if you are on the ground, you are not going to be able to race an ambassador or a tractor with a Ferrari. No, the things are moving very fast. You can't build schools. Requires too much of brick, too much of iron, too much of work. We don't have those resources. You don't, even if you have them, you don't have teachers. You may sometimes wonder that people keep saying, there's unemployment, there are so many people who are educated, postgraduate, graduates, there's unemployment in India. When I meet principals of schools, when I need to require teachers, I will say, यार कोई teacher तो बता दो मेरे को, कोई teacher दे दो, कोई principal दे दो. I've asked my friend Pramod many times. Wait, there are no teachers, and yet they're all graduates, postgraduates. What I'm trying to say is that traditional systems of working, of teaching, have somehow or the other failed. This is my personal opinion. It could be wrong. I'm not here to teach you, I'm here to learn from you. I'm not dumping facts on you, I'm stating the facts. I'm telling you, and I'm trying to logically argue as to where the problem is. So now I come to the next point. So we need to have education filter into schools in pockets. I was very happy to see some people getting awards. Order awards and doing people. I know some friends of mine who are sitting here who work in the rural sector. We had this wonderful Padam Shri gentleman who's actually getting people to compete and break into that bastion. You see, at some point you'll have to realize that teaching is not going to be the only way to success. Mahendra Singh Dhoni never went to a cricket coach. Period. He's successful, very successful. Sachin Tendulkar still didn't complete his schooling. He's a very successful man. So now we come to the second part. Now let's leave that which we don't have. Now I'm looking at things which we have. That are the schools that we head. The schools that I've headed, schools which many of you are heading. Now these are very interesting schools. There's a problem with them. What is the problem? They're resisting change. And I don't blame them, because they're working under the umbrella of a government-sponsored education board, under syllabus which is set, under books with courses given on them. So a poor principal or a teacher, he just can't educate children the way he wants from outside, because the questions that are going to be asked are from the syllabus. Our educational system in PISA, which is an international examining body with no particular, in PISA, in the year 2019, out of 75 countries, we were 73rd. Only countries below us were Kyrgyzstan and Pakistan. Now you may say, oh, we are brilliant, we are brilliant, we are brilliant. Definitely. The best in India is the best in the world. There's no question about that. No question. They go and they take over big, I mean, whether it's the big firms in America or whether in London or Germany or even Shanghai these days. I have a student of mine who's an MD in Shanghai of Adidas. He was a student of mine in a school in DPS Jagdishpur. He rose the rank, he said, because they were just brilliant. But how many of them are those? They're just very few people, very small percentage. So what we're trying to say is that unless we involve and unless we give education to this huge mass of humanity, you are not going to be able to make any very substantial and very claims that, oh, our education says, no. It's not. We are talking in a conclave like this. And look at the ones that we have. What is it now? Now, in the ones that the schools that we have, they need to innovate. You need to innovate. When I was in Dubai as principal of a school there, one thing I liked about the KHDA, the only thing I liked about the KHDA, I'm not a great fan of the Ofsted system. I think there's too much of supervision on the teacher. But one thing I liked about the KHDA, there were 6 parameters which they gave. One of the 6 parameters was innovation. They would judge your school and rank you good, very good, excellent, average, below average. Thank you very much. Maybe next time. I promised Ravi. So maybe next time I could go. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Thank you.
Many people have already departed for lunch. I would request those who are still persevering to please also have their careers.